Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've got the 10 times summoning coming up this weekend. I feel like this is the first time I've been directly pinpointed for a 10 times. Like, Clarion basically saying, you haven't really spent as much as you used to. This one's for you. We're going to lay down the packs. You're going to buy them all up. This is your 10 times. And I'm going to get baited in and spend tons of money. So that's the way this is going down. Let me go through the different champions that are in the mix. It does feel like it's just like a straight up Hell Hades times 10. Before I get onto that, they're also doing another one of these kind of frenzy drops. So we've got the drop fever going on right now for Dragon, for speed gear, which is awesome if you get some. But for the average account, this is like as good as it gets because you need speed gear everywhere in the game all the time. So this is actually fantastic. From Friday, let me just make sure I get this right. Friday, there's going to be a 2 times chance to get regen gear. And you're probably like, regen, is that any good? It is good. It's actually really good, especially for Doom Tower and especially for Faction Wars. It's a fantastic set. So they've got, it's going to go on for the whole weekend, 72 hours. It's going to be in line with the Clan versus Clan tournament. So, you know, just farming finite if you need that regen stuff will be good. Honestly, on my main account, it's less important, albeit I could do with a little bit more, actually. I do have some already, but I could do with a bit more. On my free-to-play account, I don't really have any regen gear, and regen gear is like a hard carry for Doom Tower bosses, for Faction War. You just get a straight-up heal every time you take a turn. So if you're stunned, if you're CC'd in some way, you still get a 15% health regen. So if you build your champions with quite a high health pool, chances are they're going to stay alive. Also, it's the type of set you would use if you're trying to build solo farmers. So, yeah, I've got a solo farmer in Eurogrim who could come in and just kind of take down Dragon by himself. So, regen gear is the type of gear that you would need for any solo, really. I don't think there's many gear sets that do the same job to help you solo stuff. When you've got people like Eurost solo in Scarab, he's in regen. When you've got Eurogrim or Bad L or Richthof the Bold solo in Dragon, they're in regen gear. When you've got Vergis in doing any of his solo shenanigans, they're in regen. You know, when you've got Bommel or Samar, Burengiri or Samar doing Bommel, then they're in regen gear as well. So it's kind of like the solo gear. It's kind of like it's better than lifesteal for keeping you alive, basically, in kind of wave-based content. So regen gear is kind of like, I'm not sure how much I'm going to like hard farm it, but it is nice to get a few extra pieces, and it's not a bad one to do. So anyway, let's get on to this 10 times then. What's going on? Why is it so focused on me? Let's start with the easy stuff. The frog's in there. What an epic this is. Do not sleep on the frog. So I'm after the frog on my main. He does help me with... It doesn't help. Look, I can do it. I can do nearly enough everything on my main. Okay, I can do it. But he is a champion that I'm interested in because he does open up some fun stuff with Clan Boss for my account specifically. But if you get him for Clan Boss, he has got Ally Protection. Best ability in the game for Clan Boss if you're not doing Unkillable. He's got shields on the same ability, which really works well if you're pairing him up with Brogni. He's got AoE Provoke, which is just kind of good in wave content. And he's got a decrease attack A1, which is awesome for Clan Boss as well. He's got a passive where he can just throw out poisons. So he takes hits, he throws out poisons. It's just, the champion design is just awesome. Like, such a good champ. Yeah, Taragi the Frog, absolutely. I mean, if you've got one already, it's just well worth building out. Yeah, for general content, but especially for Clan Boss. So Taragi's in there. This one is not so good, honestly. Hard pass. Bergdorf is like Mr. Average. Not bad for this faction. For Faction Wars, he's got a kind of passive heal going on with this here. He's got an AoE Provoke, which is okay. And he's got a continuous heal for himself. Is it for himself? On this champion, yeah. If he crits. So it's okay. But compared to some of the other ones here, he's not that great. We then got another one. He kind of came out a bit busted, but they pulled him back. I guess the theme is Provokes here. I hadn't picked it up before. The theme's Provokes. But he's got decreased attack A1. He's got an AoE Provoke A2, which is pretty cool. And he's got a nice buff on his A3. He's also got Turn Me to Feel if people are under Provoke and stuff here, which was busted, now just good. He's a good champion. He hits pretty hard. He's great for this faction, for Control, for Faction Wars. And he's a good, solid champion to have on your roster. So, not a bad one. And then we've got someone who we know likes a slab. Slab of cake, that is Prundar. So the Void champion is Prundar. It's Little Fiery Sword. It's Mammofold Shield. And damn, this boy's hungry all the time. But he's got decreased speed and stun on his A1. Not bad. AoE Provoke again, as we're talking about. This is nice. It's just that he doesn't hit hard. He's literally just a man mountain. Yeah, he stands in front of people. He's like, you must not pass. And he throws an increased defense on himself while he's provoking up. Got strengthened, got continuous heal. This is a great buff. This is a great ability, but feels like it should have something more to it, honestly. 4-turn cooldown. And he's got reduced damage when they're under provoke. So strengthen plus reduced damage under provoke does genuinely, like, you won't take much damage. This is a lot of damage mitigation going on for those two added together. 25% chance of counter-attacking. Goes up to, 50 when an enemy's under provoked and hits him. It's pretty cool. But I guess the trouble is he counters. I guess he counters and then's got a chance to put on some shenanigans with his A1. It's pretty cool, actually. And he's got a defense aura in Doom Tower. So he's just a straight-up meat shield. I wouldn't go out my way to pull Void Shards for this guy. But if you get him, he's not a bad meat shield. I just wish he had a bit of damage. If he had a bit of damage, he'd actually be really cool. So that's the epics. Now let's talk about the legendaries here. First one up. I always get Sacred Order and Bannerlords around the wrong way. Black Knight. So again, he's got his AoE Provoke ability, but he's got Provoke A1. This is actually a really good Magma Dragon A1 to deal with the Magma Dragon. Pretty solid. He's got continuous heals and increased defense on allies here. Goes to a 2-turn cooldown, which is really, really quick. I don't know if you necessarily need to book that out. He's got a bit of a cannon hit on his A3 if he's lost a bunch of health. And he does make himself unkillable when he drops below a certain health point. A bit like what Skullcrown would do. So he could take a bunch of damage. It's only on a 2-turn cooldown, this, which is actually really good. Makes him viable to potentially solo stuff if he's quick enough, because he can just keep getting this unkillable buff back, but it only goes on for 1 turn. But yeah, pretty solid. Nukes when he loses HP. I think he's a little bit underrated and probably underplayed, because he does hit pretty hard with this, but he's got a kind of funky skill set in that some things scale from different damage points, which makes him a little bit more difficult to build. But yeah, Black Knight, he's an okay champion, not bad. Let's move on to the next one. This is a good champion. Good old Iggy. Iggy, I mean, he is one of the hardest hitting defense-based champions in the game. He's got 2 AoEs. AoE Provoke on his A2. 4-turn cooldown if you book it. AoE HP burn on his A3, which can be an absolute nuke if you want it to be. This buff cannot be resisted, which means you don't need to build any accuracy for his A3 to land burns. And it can go 100% chance. It can still weak hit, but 100% chance on the A3 if you book it out. 5-turn cooldown's kind of long compared to some of the HP burn champions out there, but the fact that it can't be resisted is pretty damn cool. And then he's got a chance to stun, fairly low chance on his A1. As I say, he hits hard. He's kind of slow, hits hard. But yeah, nice. He's a fun champion. Pretty fun to use and can be used in all sorts of stuff. So, there's so many areas where burns are now really important. So it can come in and do some work for you there. Next one up. Damn. Actually, another crazy champion. Marta. Marta is one of only 3 counter-attack champions that put counter-attack on your team. And she's also kind of slow, actually. I never really realized that before. But she hits hard with... with this AoE nuke A3, hits really hard. People don't appreciate this. It hits like a cannon, 4-turn cooldown if you book it. Also puts decreased attack on and provoke. She's got the counter attack, which increased defense as well. So this is really great for clan boss. And then a good chance to land decreased defense on a single target on her A1. But yeah, defense in all battles, aura. She is still a quality legendary. Weirdly though, I don't really use her in hardly any content at all anymore. But she was like, for me, going through my account, she was staple in tons of stuff. Pretty much the only time I might throw her in now is if I need multiple hits. Someone like Griffin, if I'm controlling the counter-attack ability, or generally if I just want a bit of a cannon nuke and a bunch of hits coming back. For someone like Fire Knight, she could be strong if you don't have the kind of a lore set up. But yeah, just generally solid champion anywhere in the game. Like, she could play anywhere, but I'd say once you get an unkillable team in Clan Boss, that was her kind of like spot. Nowadays, she's surpassed by just better team comps, not necessarily better champions, just better team comps. So she doesn't get a ton of playtime in the end game. Albeit, I think she was in one of the best ever Clan Boss teams. Like, she's up there. She's up there with some of the good stuff. So this is the bait. This is the Hell Hades bait. I've said a lot of times how much I want this dude. He unlocks all sorts of stuff in Clan Boss. He's insane in the arena. He's probably the one champion. If someone said to me, which champion would you like to start the game with to hard carry you through anything, Krisk is the answer. Krisk is my answer. I think he's the best champion in the game. I don't have him. That's probably why I think it. But trouble is, you've got a times 10 event. I mean, for Void champions, times 10 events are not too bad. For normal champions, times 10 events really is still a drop in the ocean. It's still very, very unlikely you're going to get that champion. But for a Void legendary, because there's not that many, suddenly throwing another 10 Krisks into the pool of potential champions, it becomes a reasonably high chance to get yourself the Void legendary you want when there's an extra 9 in the champion pool. Yeah, so it's the one area of the game where a times 10 actually makes a considerable difference. And I do want this dude. So I don't know. I'll have to talk to the accountant. Can we afford a big tax write-off? Will they even drop enough packs? Often when they put the good Void champions in these times 10s, they don't drop any packs. And you're like, that would have been the one time I actually would have bought packs for this stuff. Didn't drop any. So we will see. That's it. What are your thoughts? Are you going to get baited in? Am I going to get baited in? I don't know. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.